Hi, my name is Maldonado, and I was born January 13th, 1998. I became one of the middle children amongst the four of us girls, mainly spending a lot of time with my older sister and mother. As a child, growing up in a family of that size, many memories have been made along the way, one being a family vacation back in 2005. My family and I drove all the way down to Florida, and I met with plenty of family I've never had the pleasure of knowing before. We also went to Disneyland like anyone else tries to do when they go to Florida with kids for the first time. Another memory that portrays a significant amount of what I spent doing as a child is one of my first drawings. I was inspired to use a reference and picture of a car, and it impressed the people who saw. And that alone was enough to bring my talent and passion to surface for me and my family. To this day, I still spend much of my time with writing and drawing. If it's not me creating it, I'm looking at it. Another is the first time I broke my arm. I don't necessarily remember breaking it, but I remember getting over it rather quickly and riding my bike anyway, cast on the right handle all up and down 6th Street. That alone has a lot to say about the kind of person I am. My street was always full of teens and children getting together for quick games of football or to play with someone's toys, but my favorite thing to do was this scare game with my younger sister. We'd find different places to scare each other and keep tabs on who scared the other more. The funniest family story I remember was when my cousin came over for a week back in 2007. My dad kept throwing him into the pool and it became a game. Afterwards, my cousin decided to dance battle all of us, and the videos have always been something we look at and laugh to this day. Going back in time, I remember going to preschool and the lessons they told that I still carry with me to this day, one being manners. Even though it was taught at an early age, it's a lesson that follows you for a lifetime. One teacher later who particularly sparked something in me was one in middle school named Mr. Coyle. He gave me and the rest of the class much to think about, inspired me to follow my passions, and really spent his time trying to shape the class into people of great character. Another lesson I remember is always choosing a passion over the amount of money that could ever be given, because it's not worth waking up in misery every day. And back in elementary, I was involved in basketball for a very short period of time, but if we're being honest, I spent more time on the bench rather than on the court. After that, I never invested too much time in after-school activities. Other than school, much time was spent in church. Growing up a Christian taught me hospitality, faith through doubt, and love. It's brought peace and comfort through even the worst of times and has put me in touch with emotions and situations I try to deny, fulfilling me even when I feel empty. One time, all that came into play was actually a couple of weeks ago when my first nephew and closest sister moved to Guatemala. The tragic time taught me to love from a distance because God knows more than anything how heartbreaking it still is for me. It's not all bad, though. The most joyous times of my life occurred last year upon deepening my friendships and relationships with some family members, some I never would have even expected to develop a connection with, one of these soon becoming one of my most important friendships. What really made me and my closest friend click is how much we are one and the same and the way we balance each other's flaws, similar to that of a yin and yang. I also got very in touch with who I am and my purpose whilst being here, a major breakthrough considering a past mindset that I had adapted to at that time. This was really important this summer once I had realized how much I was dependent on. At home, I've always played the role of both a family comedian and straight man, different times calling for one or the other depending on what was deemed necessary at the moment. In this life, I do not hold many regrets. Something the artist J. Cole once said was, "The only thing worse than death is a regret-filled coffin," and that's stuck with me ever since. I am most grateful for the people I've come across all my life, whether they're still here or not. All have taught me something worth carrying with me, and the ones who remained have provided me with companionship, stories, and lessons that could never possibly die.